Real wealth is not about what you can display. It is about what you can protect. Your time, your flexibility, your health, and your peace of mind. In an era of lingering caution, every dollar has a job, and too many people are still wasting theirs on purchases that look rewarding but quietly erode freedom. The enough test is a new standard for modern spending. If something does not meaningfully improve your life, it is probably costing you more than money. Here are 12 places where money quietly slips away and what to do instead. 1. The cheap version of utility goods. When something is a tool, not a treat, the cheapest version is often a trap. A bad office chair hurts your back every weekday. A flimsy pan warps. Cheap shoes flatten out. A bargain phone charger works until the week you need it most. These are not luxury items, but they are daily contact items. They shape your routines, your comfort, and your frustration level. A better way to think is cost per use, not sticker price. A $20 pair of shoes that feels awful and dies in 6 months is more expensive than an $80 pair you wear comfortably for 2 years. The same logic applies to cookware, mattresses, tires, work bags, and anything that stands between you and the ground, your health, or your livelihood. The relatable rule here is simple. Spend carefully, but do not underbuy the boring things you depend on. Buy it for life doesn't mean buying fancy. It means buying durable enough that you stop rebuying the same disappointment. 2. Traditional car ownership. For some people, a car is still absolutely worth it. If you live in a rural area, commute long distances, or have children to shuttle around, ownership may still be the most practical choice. But the default assumption that every adult should own a car, or even that every household needs two, is getting shakier. U.S. household vehicles were driven only about 64.6 minutes on a typical day in 2022, meaning they were parked roughly 95% of the time. At the same time, new cars lose value quickly. Edmunds estimates new cars lose about 23.5% of MSRP after 1 year on average, and the average new car payment was about $748 in late 2025. More than 20% of financed new car purchases in Q4 2025 carried payments of $1,000 or more per month. That means many people are paying hundreds every month for something that mostly sits still, while also absorbing insurance, maintenance, registration, parking, and depreciation. A relatable example, if you work hybrid, live near transit, and only really need a car for a Costco run and 2 weekend trips a month, you may be paying a full-time price for part-time use. A smarter modern question is not, can I afford this payment? It is, how often do I truly need private vehicle access? Sometimes the answer is ownership. Sometimes it's a one-car household, car share, ride-hail, transit, bike, or the occasional rental. The win is not anti-car purity. It's refusing to pay full freight for idle metal.
3. Mindless subscription stacks. Subscriptions are sneaky because each one feels tiny and reasonable on its own. A streaming platform here, cloud storage there, a fitness app, a premium news site, music, meal kits, AI tools, just-in-case software, and suddenly your bank account is bleeding through paper cuts. One frequently cited U.S. survey found consumers estimated they spent about $86 a month on subscriptions, but the real average from their itemized spending was $219 a month. Bango reported the average U.S. subscriber was paying for 5.4 subscriptions in 2025. And mathematically, even $200 a month invested at a 7% return grows to about $114,083 over 20 years. That is why subscriptions are not just an expense problem. They are an attention problem and an opportunity cost problem. Most people are not intentionally choosing every charge each month. They are inheriting them. A relatable fix? Treat subscriptions like plants, not furniture. They need pruning. Every 3 months, ask 3 questions. Did I use it?
Did it save me time or improve my life? Would I buy it again today at the current price? If the answer is no, cancel first and rationalize later. The future version of you will not miss app number 9. 4. Status signaling material purchases. A lot of spending is not really about enjoyment, it's about performance. The nicer trim package, the logo bag, the watch that says, "I've made it," the upgrade chosen mainly because other people might notice. The problem is that the emotional high from these purchases usually fades faster than the bill does. That is part of what psychologists describe as hedonic adaptation. The boost from a new thing tends to wear off as it becomes normal. Research on spending behavior points to the way people adapt to material changes and quickly return toward baseline satisfaction. A relatable test? Would you still buy it if it arrived in a plain brown box and nobody could ever know you owned it? If the answer is no, you're probably not buying usefulness or joy, you're renting approval. This doesn't mean never buying nice things. It means knowing why you're buying them. A beautiful coat you love wearing for years is different from a designer coat bought mainly so people read the label. One is enjoyment, the other is theater, and theater is expensive. 5. High-margin national brands. The old assumption was simple. Name brand meant better quality, while store brand meant compromise. That gap has shrunk dramatically. Today, many private label products are not the sad imitation on the bottom shelf. They are well-designed, well-tested, and often made to compete directly on quality. McKinsey reported that more than 80% of U.S. consumers rate private brand food products the same as or better than national brands, and nearly 90% say private brands offer similar or better value. Nielsen IQ found that across 25 countries, 69% of surveyed consumers saw private labels as good value, and 68% saw them as good alternatives to name brands. In the U.S., private label sales reached a record $282.8 billion in 2025. The relatable example is grocery shopping. Cereal, yogurt, pasta, frozen vegetables, paper goods, cleaning products, OTC basics. Many households are paying a brand tax out of habit, not because the branded version is meaningfully better. The better strategy is not always buy generic, it's make the brand prove itself. If the national brand tastes better, works better, lasts longer, or saves you real hassle, great, keep it. But if the only advantage is the commercial jingle lodged in your brain since childhood, you're probably overpaying for nostalgia. 6. Ultra-processed food excess. Food is emotional, social, cultural, and practical. So this is not about moralizing every snack or pretending everyone has infinite time to cook. It is about noticing that cheap convenience often comes with hidden costs in energy, appetite control, and long-term health. A major 2024 BMJ umbrella review found that greater exposure to ultra-processed foods was associated with higher risk of adverse health outcomes, especially cardiometabolic conditions, common mental disorders, and mortality outcomes. At the same time, newer reviews on GLP-1-based obesity treatment note that these medications can reduce appetite and energy intake substantially, with observed caloric reductions around 16 to 39%. PwC's 2025 consumer research also found that while many people are concerned about ultra-processed foods, only 35% say they greatly try to avoid them in practice. The relatable version of this advice is not never buy chips again. It is this: build your default groceries around foods that actually help you feel good after eating them. Eggs, yogurt, fruit, beans, rice, oats, potatoes, frozen vegetables, rotisserie chicken, soup ingredients, decent bread, simple proteins. Make the better choice the easier choice. Spending heavily on empty calories is a strange bargain. You pay once at the register and then again with lower energy, worse satiety, and health costs later. The point is not perfection. The point is reducing the amount of money you spend on food that gives very little back. 7. Debt for depreciating luxuries. Debt is not automatically bad. Used well, it can help you buy a home, build a business, or smooth a real emergency. Used poorly, it turns wants into long shadows. The most dangerous version is using debt to buy things that drop in value fast and do not improve your earning power. That's especially visible with vehicles and luxury purchases. New cars often lose 15 to 20% of their value in the first year, and one Edmunds measure puts average first-year depreciation even higher at 23.5%. Meanwhile, average credit card APRs were around 20.97% across all accounts in Q4 2025. So if someone is financing a luxury watch, a boat, a premium SUV they barely use, or a vacation they couldn't really afford, they're not just paying for the item. They're paying for depreciation plus interest plus the stress of reduced flexibility. That's why the double cash rule is so good. Do not finance a luxury purchase unless you could comfortably buy it twice in cash. If you can, then it's a choice. If you cannot, then the item owns more of you than you own of it. 8. Complex financial solutions. A lot of financial stress doesn't come from scarcity alone. It comes from complexity. Too many accounts, too many apps, too many half-finished systems. A savings account over here, 3 cards over there, old retirement accounts you barely remember, auto payments firing like confetti cannons from every direction. Complexity creates friction, and friction creates mistakes, missed due dates, forgotten balances, money left idle, investments you don't fully understand. The person with a simple, boring, automated system often outperforms the person with a smart system that only works when they are fully organized and highly motivated. The relatable solution is to make your financial life boring on purpose. One main spending account, one emergency fund, one primary investment account, a simple recurring transfer schedule, a short list of bills, a system you could explain to a tired version of yourself on a Wednesday night. Simplicity is not unsophisticated. Simplicity is resilient. The best money system is usually the one you'll actually follow for years. 9. Micro-optimizing small games. Some people will spend 5 hours researching how to save $18 on a flight, but won't spend one focused weekend improving the skill that could raise their income by thousands. That's backward math. This is the difference between $3 questions and $30,000 questions. The coffee coupon is a $3 question. Whether you should ask for a raise, switch jobs, build a valuable skill, pitch a better client, or negotiate your rent is a bigger game entirely. A relatable example is someone spends a year juggling point systems, rotating cards, and stocking cash back categories to earn a few $100s while never updating their portfolio, CV, LinkedIn, or pricing. That's not financial mastery, that's precision on the wrong battlefield. It's fine to play the little games if you genuinely enjoy them, but if they drain your attention, stop. Put more energy into your earning power, reputation, and skills. Income growth changes the weather. Couponing changes the breeze. 10. Invisible lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep is polite. It rarely shows up looking reckless. It arrives disguised as "I deserve this," or "it's not that much more," or "my income is higher now." A slightly nicer apartment, better seats, more delivery, more premium versions of everything. Nothing dramatic, just 1,000 tiny upgrades that quietly eat your future. The danger is not enjoying your money. The danger is letting spending rise at the same speed as income, so that your investing gap never widens. That's how people double their salary and somehow still feel financially pinned down. A relatable example is you get a €500 monthly raise, then your rent goes up by €180 because you moved somewhere nicer. Food delivery adds another €100. A better gym is €40 more, 2 new subscriptions appear, and suddenly your raise has evaporated like steam off soup. The practical fix is the 50% rule for raises. Let yourself feel some progress, upgrade something that matters, but automatically route half the raise to savings, debt payoff, or investing before your lifestyle expands to absorb it. That way, your life gets better and your balance sheet does too.
Number 11. Removing meaningful friction. One of the stranger side effects of making more money is the temptation to erase every inconvenience from life.
You can outsource groceries, laundry, cooking, cleaning, errands, scheduling, even social planning. Some of that is smart. Some of it hollows life out. Not every inconvenience is waste. Some friction is actually texture. Cooking a meal can be annoying on a tired Tuesday, but it can also be ritual, skill, pride, and care. Tidying your home can be work, but it can also be the act that makes you feel grounded again. Walking to pick something up may be slower than tapping a delivery app, but it may also be the only fresh air you get that day. The key is not never outsource. The key is outsource what drains you, not what forms you. If paying for a cleaner saves your relationship, your health, or hours of crushing stress, great. But do not spend money to optimize away every ordinary human task and then wonder why life feels oddly thin. Sometimes the richest thing is not being served more, it is being more present for the life you already have. Number 12. Ignoring the mirror investment. Some spending looks expensive on paper, but is wildly profitable in real life. Fitness, therapy, quality food, sleep support, dental care, books, courses, coaching. These are mirror investments because you see the returns in the person looking back at you. WHO and CDC both emphasize that regular physical activity improves physical and mental health. It helps prevent and manage chronic disease, reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression, and can help people feel better, function better, and sleep better. That is why a gym membership you actually use can be a better purchase than a luxury accessory. Therapy that helps you stop self-sabotaging can pay back in relationships and career decisions. Better groceries can improve your energy enough to affect your work, your parenting, your patience, and your health. These are not vanity expenses. They are capacity expenses that increase the odds that you can enjoy the life you are working so hard to build. At some point, the enough test becomes very clear. If a dollar does not buy you more health, more time, more peace, more purpose, or more connection, it probably deserves more scrutiny. True wealth is not a number on a screen, but the ability to fully experience life by design rather than by default. By following small, intentional rules and eliminating unforced errors, you can reclaim your time and create a lasting margin of freedom. Remember that choosing freedom over stuff turns your career into a machine that builds real wealth, and your future self is already thanking you for the intentional choices you are making today. If you want to continue this journey of growth, consider joining the community for more content designed to help you redefine success.